Right. Okay, so this is going to be the first of my reviews. I'm going to review my favorite book in the entire world, which is going to come as no surprise to my partner in crime. It's Pride and Prejudice. I'm just kind of going to give you a basic information about the book and try to let you know whether you should or should not read it. Basically, Pride and Prejudice is a book written by Jane Austen. It was published in the 1800s and is Jane Austen's most famous piece of work. It's considered a literary classic and has had lots of adaptations done of it. There's a play version, there's a Bollywood movie version called Bride and Prejudice, there's the BBC miniseries starring Colin Firth as Mr. Darcy and Jennifer Eel as Elizabeth Bennet. There's the Keira Knightley version. There's a Marvel graphic novel of it, which is super awesome, by the way. And then lots of people have written kind of like fun little things based off of it, like Prom and Prejudice. There's Lost in Austen. There's Me and Mr. Darcy. There's Mr. Darcy Gets Thrown Overboard. All sorts of fun stuff. Obviously, there's a crap ton more, but that's just kind of a basic start. So let's see. Pride and Prejudice tells the story of Miss Elizabeth Bennet, who is one of 5 sisters. She is the second eldest. Her older sister, Jane Bennet, is her best friend in the entire world. Then she has her sisters, Kitty, Mary, and Lydia. Lydia being the youngest at 15. And then at some point, I believe she becomes 16 maybe in there. It kind of is 15 or 16 depending on what point in time you're reading it. But basically, Elizabeth is very headstrong, she's intelligent, she's very witty. She gets along much better with her father than with her mother. Her father is very much like her, very funny. Her mother is just obsessed with getting them all married off. Famous quote from the book is, "It is a truth universally acknowledged that a single man in possession of a good fortune must be in want of a wife," which pretty much sums up Mrs. Bennet's views on life. But basically there's this whole big drama because Mr. Bingley decides to move into Netherfield, which is the local mansion in the county sort of a thing. And Mrs. Bennet is desperate to marry one of her daughters off to him, which it looks like is going to be Jane, because Jane is considered the beauty of the county. And she and Bingley hit it off right away at the ball. However, Mr. Bingley brought a couple of friends. One of them is his sister Caroline, who is not so nice. She's kind of conniving and a little two-faced. And then her sister, who is now married, and her sister's husband. And they're not in every adaptation because they don't add too much to the plot. But they're still good, important characters, I guess. If you're reading the book at least. Then he also brings Mr. Darcy. And Mr. Darcy, fun fact, has been named as the man that most women would like to go on a date with. And he's fictional. That's really unfortunate for us ladies. But, you know, it's okay because we can still dream about him. Anyway, Mr. Darcy shows up, but he's kind of a tool, actually. He says that Lizzie's barely tolerable, and they don't really hit it off so well. So they don't get along at all. And that's kind of the driving conflict of the book, I guess, is that Lizzie and Darcy don't get along. Well, at least Lizzie thinks they don't get along. Darcy thinks something very different. But basically, all this stuff happens, and it is a true romance book. I don't want to spoil it. It's probably already been spoiled for you, but just in case it hasn't, I'm gonna leave it be. If you want to read it, I really recommend it. It's one of my favorite books. I love it. I'm kind of obsessed with it. It's really a problem. If you want to see a movie and like a short, quick movie, just kind of get the basics of it, see the Keira Knightley version. It's a really good version. It doesn't include all the characters, but it includes most of them. If you want to be completely immersed in it and really know the entire thing and have it be almost as good as reading the book, but of course it's never going to be as good as reading the book. Movies are rarely that good. Watch the BBC version. It's a mini-series, so it takes a while. It's like watching a TV series, but it includes everyone. It really covers everything that happens in the book. If you want a modernized adaptation, the Lizzie Bennet Diaries which are on YouTube, are fantastic. They're a great modern version. I really love them. And they're really funny. The book itself is funny, but it's a British wit, it's dry wit. If you don't like reading books written a long time ago, you're not gonna like this. But if you do, hey, this is probably the book for you. And I mean, it is a really good book, so you should try it. And yeah, that's all I'm gonna say on it. I give it a 5-star rating. And yeah, that's it. So, I guess have fun and live long and prosper and whatnot.